Hey everybody, welcome to this month's question of the month. Of course, if you've got your own question, just go to yoganatomy.com/my question, and I'll answer your question as quickly as possible. But this month's question comes from Delphine. Hi David, thank you for being here. Hey Delphine, thanks for watching. In regards to psoas issues, how do we know if we have to lengthen it or strengthen it? Could it be the psoas is weak and we just have to balance those two activities, I assume she's meaning lengthen and strengthen, without overstretching it or making it too tight? Delphine, I like the way you think, because the word that ultimately comes in here is balance. How do you balance strength and flexibility? The whole body wants balance, front to back, right to left, top to bottom. Right? We're always looking for this balance. So you're on the right path, and asking the question is probably the most important part, because it's very easy to fall into the trap of your psoas is weak, that's why your back hurts. Your glutes are weak, that's why your back hurts. Your abdominal muscles are weak, that's why your back hurts. Any of those could potentially be true, but that's different than distinguishing them, much less what do we do when we hear things like this? We go off and we isolate and focus on strengthening a muscle that may actually create more imbalance. So we could describe muscles as long or short, tight or loose, I guess, strong or weak. But the truth is, it can be a combination of these things. Like a muscle can be long, meaning it has the capacity to be really flexible, and it can also be strong at the same time. A muscle can be short, tight, and by tight in this sense I mean, in a way that's out of balance, too tight, short, tight, and as a result of that excess tension, weak. Where we would often always assume that if a muscle is tight and strong, or if it's tight, it is strong, but that's not always true. So we're looking for balance. You're absolutely right. How do you know what you need to do, I think, is the main thrust of the question. How would you know? Because it's very difficult to know, what I would suggest is you just continue to do both and aim at balance. And the body is really good at figuring this stuff out on its own. So if you put length into your psoas and you do things that strengthen your psoas, you're probably okay. Unless you had a very specific problem that you thought was related to psoas. And it sounds here like you say psoas issue in the first part of your question, but it's not clear that there's something really specific there. And the other thing to do and to be careful with when we talk about muscles like the psoas or the glutes or piriformis, those are the big ones. No muscle works alone. They don't live in vacuums by themselves. It's not like you can fully isolate it. I mean, you can, but that's not how your body functions anyway. So there's no real value. The beauty of yoga practice, I assume you don't mention yoga here, but you're obviously a yoga practitioner if you're watching, is the beauty of yoga is that it already works on creating some of these balances that we're talking about, the strength and the flexibility. You don't need it. The thing to avoid is trying to fix something. One, you've assumed it's a problem. It may be, it may not be. I don't know, because I can't see you. But doing the practice, generally speaking, is going to create balance. Front to back, right to left, twisting. The basic movements are there. So I would have a little more trust in that. And if you really need an intervention on your psoas, go see somebody who can get on there, treat it, and then, because a lot of times it's going to take a palpation or touching the psoas to determine whether it's short and tight and dysfunctional or not, and therefore meaning it would need to be lengthened, or are you testing weak for it? So that's the other way to do this. All right, that's it. I've rambled on enough. If you've got a question, by all means go to yoganatomy.com/myquestion.